forward or in the middle on occasion, but basically those two boys are over. I think they had 8 and 10 possessions each, or respectively, in the last quarter, and that's probably the difference.
Round 20, Hawthorn versus Western Bulldogs. Bulldogs R. Murphy, 1 vote. Bulldogs D.G. and Siracusa, 2 votes. Bulldogs B. Johnson, 3 votes. Sydney versus Melbourne. Melbourne D. Neitz, 1 vote. Melbourne A. Uze, 2 votes. Melbourne P. Walsh, 3 votes. St Kilda versus Carlton. St Kilda A. Thompson, 1 vote. Carlton C. Bradley, 2 votes. Carlton A. Koutafidis, 3 votes. Richmond versus West Coast. Richmond L. Cameron, 1 vote. Richmond M. Knights, 2 votes. Richmond R. Hilton, 3 votes. Kangaroos versus Adelaide. Adelaide I. Perry, 1 vote. Adelaide M. Stevens, 2 votes. Adelaide M. Rasciuto, 3 votes. Collingwood versus Essendon. Essendon M. Mercury, 1 vote. Collingwood A. Rocker, 2 votes. Essendon M. Johnson, 3 votes. Port Adelaide versus Geelong. Port Adelaide N. Stevens, 1 vote. Port Adelaide J. Schofield, 2 votes. Port Adelaide J. Franco, 3 votes. Fremantle versus Brisbane Lions. Fremantle M. Pavlik, 1 vote. Lions T. Notting, 2 votes. Lions S. Black, 3 votes.
An awesome marking display by Richmond's Matthew Richardson was offset by some wobbly kicking. The big Tiger redeemed himself with the match winner in a 4-point win over the Kangaroos. Carlton produced one of its biggest wins over Collingwood. Whitnall with 5 in a 68-point thumping. Essendon guaranteed top spot for the 3rd year in a row when it demolished the West Coast in Perth by 89 points. And 7 from Matthew Lloyd set up back-to-back Coleman medals. Inspired by skipper Matthew Primus, Port Adelaide produced its 15th win of the season, effortlessly accounting for the Bulldogs. Acting skipper Sean Wren won the toss, and his Hawks kicked against the breeze. The call backfired. The Crows opened brilliantly with Goodwin and Johnson starring. They won easily. Best on the ground was a toss-up, as Brisbane's famed midfield of Voss, Black and Ackermanis dominated against Geelong. The only moment of joy for Cats fans was the chance to farewell Gary Hocking.
Brisbane's got a side like that. They've got Voss and Black who are, pretty hard at the footy and can win the hard ball. And then Ackermanis, and the other types of players that Lapham can push forward and also hurt you on that contest. And I think that it's a great lesson for our kids today that they've played against some really good players.
Russell Robertson again ruled the skies over Colonial, and at ground level Jeff White was back to his best as Melbourne assured Fremantle would win the wooden spoon for the first time. 16 unanswered goals in succession by Sydney saw the Saints slump. Nick's just sensational with 6 goals 7.
Round 21, Richmond versus Kangaroos. Richmond M. Knights, 1 vote. Kangaroos G. Archer, 2 votes. Richmond M. Richardson, 3 votes. Carlton versus Collingwood. Carlton J. Plunkett, 1 vote. Carlton L. Whitnall, 2 votes. Carlton A. Hickmott, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs versus Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide J. Franco, 1 vote. Port Adelaide M. Primus, 2 votes. Port Adelaide W. Treadray, 3 votes. West Coast Eagles versus Essendon. Essendon S. Lucas, 1 vote. Essendon M. Lloyd, 2 votes. Essendon C. Heffernan, 3 votes. Melbourne versus Fremantle. Melbourne A. Nicholson, 1 vote. Melbourne A. Uze, 2 votes. Melbourne J. White, 3 votes. Sydney versus St Kilda. Sydney A. Dunkley, 1 vote. Sydney L. Barry, 2 votes. Sydney, M. Nix, 3 votes. Adelaide versus Hawthorn. Adelaide, M. Bickley, 1 vote. Adelaide, N. Bassett, 2 votes. Adelaide, S. Goodwin, 3 votes. Geelong versus Brisbane Lions. Geelong, D. Clark, 1 vote. Lions, M. Voss, 2 votes. Lions, J. Ackermanis, 3 votes.
So with 1 round remaining, Jason Ackermanis has taken back the lead. The Lions played the Swans in the final game up there, and for Andrew McLeod, he went over to Fremantle to play the final game there. Let's have a look at the leaderboard one last time before we know who's actually won. So only 2 people can win it. It's either Jason Ackermanis for the 2nd time a Lion, or Andrew McLeod for the 1st time a Crow. Who will it be? Let's go to the highlights of round 22.
The Tiger duo of Brad Ottens and Matty Richardson kicked 9 goals between them, as Richmond provided the first big upset of round 22 with a 24-point win over Essendon. Craig Bradley, the AFL's oldest player, produced a gem in Carlton's explosive and hard-hitting win over Geelong. Superbly backed up by Anthony Koutafidis, Bradley watched his Blues hold Geelong to 3 goals. Brisbane's 13th straight win was set up by skipper Michael Voss and rebounding defender Chris Johnson. The Lions cemented 2nd place with a 5-goal win over Sydney in driving rain at the Gabba. Big, bad, bustling Barry Hall capped off a quite remarkable final term comeback against Hawthorn. The Saints had trailed by 4 goals, but this goal after the siren gave coach Grant Thomas his first win after 6 straight losses.
He's kicked the goal! He's kicked the goal! The Saints have broken the ground!
In Perth, it would be Peter Bell who sparked Fremantle. The Wooden Spooners defeating finalists Adelaide by 37 points. Collingwood's forward line turned up the heat against the Kangaroos at Manuka Oval in Canberra. Brodie Holland and Nick Davis just sensational. The Wiz was back kicking 5 goals. David Neitz a focal point up forward, and Adam Uze just terrific as Melbourne ended a 5-year drought against the Bulldogs at Colonial. And in the final home and away match of the season, Port Adelaide paid tribute to one of South Australia's legends, Foss Williams, then set up destroying the West Coast by 112 points. Tredrea kicked 5 for the winners, but Ben Cousins bobbed up everywhere.
Oh, well, Ben Cousins was outstanding. I mean, it was a pretty difficult day. He was, I thought he was outstanding, which has probably been what his whole year's been about, really.
Round 22. Essendon versus Richmond. Essendon, M. Lloyd, 1 vote. Richmond, M. Rogers, 2 votes. Richmond, B. Holland, 3 votes. Carlton versus Geelong. Carlton, S. Silvani, 1 vote. Carlton, C. Bradley, 2 votes. Carlton, A. Koutafidis, 3 votes. Hawthorn versus St Kilda. St Kilda, S. Baker, 1 vote. St Kilda, B. Hall, 2 votes. St Kilda, A. Jones, 3 votes. Port Adelaide versus West Coast Eagles. Port Adelaide, J. Franco, 1 vote. Port Adelaide, S. Dew, 2 votes. Port Adelaide, N. Stevens, 3 votes. Kangaroos versus Collingwood. Collingwood, S. Burns, 1 vote. Collingwood, N. Davis, 2 votes. Collingwood, J. Clement, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs versus Melbourne. Melbourne, J. White, 1 vote. Bulldogs, S. West, 2 votes. Melbourne, P. Walsh, 3 votes. Brisbane Lions versus Sydney. Lions, M. Voss, 1 vote. Lions, C. Johnson, 2 votes. Lions, N. Lappin, 3 votes. Fremantle versus Adelaide. Fremantle, H. Black, 1 vote. Fremantle, A. Fletcher, 2 votes. Fremantle, P. Bell, 3 votes. With much pleasure in declaring Jason Ackermanis the 2001 Brownlow Medal winner.
Well, what a night with a difference. So hard here for Andrew McLeod in the end, but for Jason, what a night. Megan with him. Pretty sure they're getting married shortly. A sensational night for them at the Gabba. With them all in front of them. You can see Matty Campbell there, Michael Voss, his captain. Lee Matthews will be close by. Nigel Lappin and Simon Blackall there as well from that formidable midfield. It's my pleasure now to introduce the chairman of the AFL Commission, Mr. Ron Evans. Ron.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we'll just wait for a moment, Ron. Michael Voss and Matthew Campbell are there. It's all yours, Ron.
ladies and gentlemen, the AFL Commission, along with football followers and supporters throughout Australia, acknowledge and congratulate the 2001 Brownlow medalist, Jason Ackermanis from the Brisbane Lions.
So Michael Voss is making the medal presentation. It was to have been Shane Woden had the medalists been here, but in the tradition, Michael Voss has made the medal presentation. Jason, I think you might be able to hear us. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, Jason. Good on you. You never do things by halves. Jason, Ron Evans, the chairman of the AFL Commission, is about to propose a toast.
Jason, congratulations. You've been outstanding this year in the midfield after several years in the back line. You've maintained brilliant form, winning All-Australian selection for the second time. You won the Lions Best and Fairest in 1999, and you've become the second Brisbane Brownlow medalist after Michael Voss' victory in 1996. Well done and congratulations to Jason Ackermanis. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding. The 2001 Brownlow medalist, Jason Ackermanis from the Brisbane Lions.
Ron, thank you. Thank you very much. Jason, what a night. What a night.
You're telling me.
Fair sideshow, mate, isn't it?
Certainly is, mate, yeah. I'm lost for words.
Well, it's different for all of us, Jason. We started televising the Brownlow Medal in 1970. I think you're the first person to have won the Brownlow, not to have been in the room. So it's a point of difference tonight. And boy, what a week you've got in front of you.
Yeah, not wrong. I mean, obviously, like I said before, obviously as a footballer you want to be playing what's going to happen on Saturday, and you know, obviously something like this you certainly don't expect. And what can I say? It's as an individual player, sometimes you just get a bonus like this, and hey, I'll take them. Don't worry about that.
Jason, it's I think there's Kevin looking on. I just wonder what she's just thinking right now. Lee would know, that's for sure. It's been hard for Andrew McLeod over the last half an hour in here. What about for you up there at the Gabba tonight? What's it been like in that room?
Oh, it's been a bit of fun. As you can see and hear, there's a few people in here, and certainly from the Brisbane public. I've been here for probably 15 years and had to sort of see the game grow and see how sort of what we've had to go through, and certainly the club being here for maybe 7 years. Certainly to see the Lions, as you see on the weekend, just really good crowds, and the way it's built up over the time here, I'm just really proud to be part of it right now. And certainly all the crap I used to cop at school and things like this, it's I got a smile on the other side of my face. So
Jason, what a team too. I mean, your other midfielders, Michael Voss and Nigel Lappin and Simon Blacker surrounding you tonight in their own way, particularly Vossi and Simon Late. They've polled well again tonight, but it's a formidable midfield, isn't it, that you'll bring with you to Melbourne on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, well, they're certainly 4 guys. I think we've got a few other guys you can throw in the mix that have been really good for us as well. So obviously a lot of guys are just, it's an interesting week in the great journey of life. So we're all in this together, so to speak. So we're all looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm just still speechless, mate. Fair dinkum.
Well, I'm going to keep probing. There's the opposition captain, James Hird. I'm going to keep probing, Jason. What about the journey of life? Saw Megan sitting next to you a moment ago. How important has she been to you over these last 2 or 3 years?
Oh yeah, certainly from my point of view, it's been that support that you probably need. I mean, most guys could tell you, certainly any player who's been around long enough knows that you really need, it's not so much the individual, it's the people around them, and I think they're as important as, I don't know, the skills you do, as the preparation, the recovery, all that. So certainly have people like that, and her family particularly, yeah, they certainly make my life that a little bit easier, and I'm proud to sort of be part of that, but and to be part of the club as well.
Megan's mum and dad are deaf, Gary and Carmel. You send them a message, don't you, after every game?
Yeah, we just, they know what I'm saying, I think.
Would you like to send them a message now? Would you like to send them a message now?
No, I start crying, but yeah, no, they actually was telling me this week that the deaf community actually made up a name for, like a sign for my name, which I thought was hilarious because they said it was too long to spell, so I thought that was funny, but...
So can we hear it?
Can you see it?
Yeah. Can we see it?
I don't know if I should be doing this on national television, to be honest. I'll just keep it at home, I think.
What about the handstands, Jason? Where do they come from the same place?
What place is that?
Is it the same message?
No, it's like I said, it happened in '99. Ronnie Burns, and I've sort of known him. The week before he actually done a cartwheel and stuff like that, and we played them up here the next week. And anyway, we ended up winning, and I did this cartwheel or something, and we were all pretty embarrassed at the time. And I remember thinking, what an idiot. And anyway, the next week we won, and a few of the boys said, go on. I said, oh, I don't know. Anyway, I did it, and as you can see, it's just a bit of fun.
Jason, have you ever kissed the turf at the MCG?
No, but I'd like to taste that, I suppose.
Lee loves all these questions, doesn't he? Who rode the motorbike? Did anyone ride the motorbike? I mean, I know you love your bike, but you can't get it off, Megan. Did either of you ride it tonight to the function, or was that a no-no?
No, I couldn't, because I couldn't fit the suit. With my helmet and the glasses, it was terrible, so I said I'll just take the car. And, I was going to stick her on the back, but unfortunately, if you saw a dress, I think everyone going past me would get a big fright.
Look, I keep on delving a bit into the past, but I do apologise. But your dear mum's been dead for about 3 years now. I know you had very little to do with your dad. You were brought up in Mildura, but Mum was just such an influence on your life, wasn't she?
Oh, certainly she was. I mean, what can I say? When you sort of see it from... I was pretty young at the time, so it was pretty hard to sort of comprehend what was going on. But, I mean, just to be honest, the club and the people around here and the support I got at the time was certainly beneficial for me. But, you know, that was sort of... It was 4 years ago, and certainly not a day goes by, I don't think, where it's in the memory bank. And just, I don't know, you kind of... We talked about the journey of life, but when you see someone go through that, you just think, well, what the hell are you getting worried about, you know? Just go out and enjoy it and have a bit of fun and don't get so stressed over, I don't know, the crazy things.
I know you went to the hairdressers recently, and you were going to get something special for the grand final, but you're getting married shortly, aren't you? And so you had to pull your head in a bit.
Yeah, well, I had to talk to the boss for that one. I got the permission for a little bit, but she said not too much. You might have to get a cut.
When are you getting married, Jason?
Like a big, the 12th of next month. It's not far.
That's soon.
It is, very soon.
Look, just a couple of quotes. There was a great article about you on the weekend, a couple of quotes. When I first came to the club, it was like, be like Michael Voss. He's the furthest bloke I want to be like. I used to think he was sucking up to them all. What do you have to say when he read that on the weekend?
I don't know what he said. I want to actually talk to him about that, because I was actually talking to the lady today who said, I can't believe this, because there's one part of the paragraph that has the top bit, and then another paragraph that has the bottom bit, which don't make any sense, but they put them together, it sounds really juicy. You
got out of it. Look, just one more. Keep going if you want to.
No, I was just going to say, Michael, when I came to the club, it was phenomenal to see the respect he already had. He was such a young player at the time, and I remember thinking, the guys, the coaching staff were saying, this guy, he's going to be fantastic. Why don't you sort of model yourself on him? And I said, yeah, it's a good idea, and it's not too bad, but he's about 10 kilos heavier and a couple of inches taller. We've got good hair colour, but other than that, that was it.
And the other one, mate, the moment I knew Lee was coming, I knew something was going to change for the better.
Yeah, I didn't know what. I just remember thinking, this gives me a chance to have a fresh start. And at the time, I probably really needed it, because not so much for my form or anything like that, but perhaps the perception of the coaches and at the time, and particularly the people around the club. And I really wanted the chance to sort of start fresh. And with Lee coming, it kind of gave me that chance. And when he came in the room, he said, well, you're all here. No sort of reputation, don't care about them. You're all got a clean sheet, and we're going to take it from here. And I thought, well, that might be good for me, and I really needed it. And yeah, thankfully, it was a bit shaky there for a while, but I think we're getting there slowly.
I think you might have just about got there. Jason, just a couple of quickies. Did you go there tonight thinking you had a chance of winning, a real chance?
No, I was saying on the way, I say, all right, now when it's over, we'll quickly go out, we'll try and get past the people, and then we'll get in the car and go home. And we had a good plan, but as you can see, they don't always work.
And it's a new medal. I mean, there's real gold in that medal these days. This is the first year that...
Is it?
Dipper wants to trade his in. Don't do it. What's it feel like, mate?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you in words as such. These things are funny because they take a while to sort of sink in. And with what's been going on this week, what's ahead of us sort of on Saturday, it's a bit... I don't know. I really can't tell you that much, but I'm trying to keep as calm as possible. But you know, tomorrow's a new day. We'll certainly, hopefully, I don't know if we can, but we can get it back into some kind of normality, maybe training or something. Should be nice.
I think there might be training this week, don't you? Yeah, put that glass bowl on, and
what glass bowl?
That leads to it. Just finally, Jason, have we forgotten anybody? Is there somebody you want to thank?
Of course. Well, obviously, I got the official things. I can't forget the sponsors here that put up really good money for the club, and it's always welcome. I think any team in the land knows how important they are. AAPT, which is our major sponsor, still think they could do better deals for us, but I don't know, that's all right. We've got obviously all the support sponsors. From everyone, Channel 7, Bioorganics, I'll miss someone. Can anyone give me a cue card or something? No. Coke. Okay, now onto the good ones. Obviously, Megan, her family, all my football teammates who are, like I said, this is not an individual here. This is a group, and to get something like this is just as much part of them as it is me. The club for their support, certainly. And, who have I forgotten? There'll be someone. Everyone's waving at me. Who have I forgotten? And, the Brisbane people, and I suppose I've got to thank the umpires. Can I say that?
Sure can. Jason, you've been a revelation this year and a revelation tonight. Just think, mate, when you come onto the ground at the MCG and after the national anthem and the toss has been completed, what about that roar? I bet you are thinking about it right now.
Try not to, mate. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. It's one day at a time.
Jason?
No, should be good. Looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to seeing you, mate. We're looking forward to seeing you run onto the MCG with your team on Saturday. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
What a fabulous winner. What a fabulous winner. Jason Ackermanis, all the way from the Gabba. We'll take a break and we'll check how your favourite player went right after this.
From 60, gee, that's a great kick. Left foot. Here's Ackermanis. Running, kicking, bouncing. He goes for the distance with the left again. Can't he get some distance with the left? Oh, Ackermanis.
Gee, what about that with Bradshaw? Ackermanis goal. There's party tricks now. He looked for Voss, but he found Hart. Hart goes backwards to Ackermanis. He gets around Thompson, clears himself, and kicks a goal.
Ackermanis off the left. Great stuff by Brisbane.
Fletcher didn't take it. Here's Ackermanis. This is dangerous. He bends it back brilliantly. That's Acker. Time well done. That was an effective score. He butters up to give it the boss. He'll give it to Ackermanis. Ackermanis enjoys this situation. He loves it. There's another one. Slap towards Ackermanis. This time, surely he can kick a goal. And he does. Longview had to be clean. He wasn't. Power was. McRae will be. Or Ackermanis. One of them will kick their 10.
She'll crash his way through and kick a goal. Ackermanis. Ackermanis. Oh, that's exciting, isn't it?
Oh, lovely handball from Lappin. Sets Ackermanis free. And Acker's got it. And he's pumped.
What a night for Jason Ackermanis. What a character. He'll be back here on Saturday with his Lions team to play in the grand final. Congratulations. Let's have a look at the leaderboards, and we start with the Crows and how close Andrew McLeod was. Most votes ever by a Crow with 21. Our runner-up tonight, third last year, so third and second. Let's go to Brisbane. Jason Ackermanis over Michael Voss and Simon Black. So their second Brownlow medalist, and Voss well and truly up there. At Carlton, Darren Hume, a surprise packet. Hickmott, Bradley and Ratton, who was heavily backed, in fifth place with 8. Collingwood, Nathan Buckley, again prominent with 14. Shane O'Brien had a great start. The Bombers, Jason Johnson and Matthew Lloyd got the most with 15. James Hurd, not as many as we expected. Peter Bell finished with a rush with 11 and Troy Cook with 8 from Fremantle. So the Dockers plenty to look forward to. Ben Graham got 4 best on grounds early and finished with 13 for the Cats. Spriggs got 8. To Hawthorn, Shane Crawford, the winner a couple of years ago, 14. Daniel Chicks had a terrific year, and so's Joel Smith, an All-Australian. Gee, Brent Harvey was consistent throughout the year, and Shannon Grant really gave his backers a side early. 16 and 14 to the Demons. Peter Walsh, a surprise, I think, getting 11 over Adam Uze, who was expected to get there most. Last year's winner, Shane Woden, on 4. Port Adelaide was strong. Josh Franco's won a Magarey medal. He wasn't far away from getting the most votes tonight. He wasn't eligible. Nick Stevens and Matthew Primus into double figures. Richmond, Leon Cameron with 11. He's had a terrific year. Joel Bowden on 9. Matty Richardson also on 9. At the Saints, Robert Harvey on 7. So often he's been their leading vote getter yet again tonight. But they were a bit thin on the ground. Sydney were even but thin. Matthew Nix with a good second half. Darren Creswell and then Wayne Schwass. To West Coast, Ben Cousins, a great year. 18 votes in a team that won just 5 matches, and he dominated the West Coast vote getters with Michael Garden with 6 and Western Bulldogs, Luke Darcy with 11 and Scotty West, who was the runner-up last year, on 8. So the leaderboard, for the first time ever, 4 of the top 5 have come from outside of Victoria. Ackermanis, McLeod, Franco Voss, Cousins, and then Harvey. So they were the top 6, and we go down through the top 12 with Jason Johnson, Matty Lloyd, Shannon Grant, Shane Crawford, Nathan Buckley and Ben Graham. Jason Ackermanis is at the press conference at the moment in Brisbane, live pictures. So there's Jason and Andrew McLeod, who got so close here tonight in the room, having a chat to last year's winner in Shane Woden. So what a night it was. We've got a lot to look forward to on 7, starting with Talking Footy tomorrow night. Cheeds, Lee Matthews on the couch, going through the grand final, 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Thanks for being with us. It's been a lot of fun. It's one we'll never, ever forget. Jason Ackermanis winning the Brownlow. Good night.